rocket that you'll see standing tall in front of KSC's badging station is the Mercury Redstone rocket. It represents NASA's earliest efforts to send humans into space. These Redstone rockets were formerly ballistic missiles provided to NASA by the U.S. Army. In October of 1958, NASA formally organized Project Mercury.
ST-100 Starliner spacecraft in orbit. Starliner can seat up to 7 astronauts, 4 with cargo, and launches atop the Atlas V rocket made by the United Launch Alliance, or ULA. Upon its return to Earth, rather than splashing down in the ocean, Starliner deploys airbags to land in the desert of the western United States. Starliner was the first American-made human-rated capsule to land on land. Since 2012, NASA has contracted private companies through commercial resupply services contracts to deliver supplies and research to the ISS using commercial spacecraft. These companies launch from Kennedy Space Center to the ISS to deliver cargo and return research samples and unneeded cargo.
There's parts of Artemis 3 in there. But they utilize that mostly during the space shuttle program. They probably got the most use out of it during the space shuttle program, especially when we had the hurricanes. They put them all in there. But a lot of people think that other companies can use that, which is, the answer is no. That's just for NASA's rockets, because they're the only ones that pretty much do a vertical tower, and the pad itself is a clean pad where it's at, so it's got to be a... Now this here is an old mobile launch platform from the space shuttle program. That's where the astronauts walk through into the White Room, and then from the White Room into the space shuttle itself. That's the real deal there. That launch abort system is just a replica, but it's a full-size replica.
Vehicles well overhead. So where were you when you were watching Artemis 1 launch back in November of 2022? So for the launch of Artemis 1, I was here in Artemis 1 at the launch area. We talk a lot about
oblong orbit around the Earth, which is kind of like egg-shaped. But it can go up there and it's an unmanned vehicle that sits up there for over a year. Can sit up there for a very long time. Usually gets brought up by a Falcon Heavy. Are we looking for gators? Yeah. Is anybody looking for gators? Over on the right-hand side, there's an old mobile launch platform from the Space Shuttle program, that gray platform that you see there. Now, remember, the Space Shuttle didn't have a tower. The tower was a fixed tower out on the launch complex. You see these gang members up here? These birds, these are gang members. Be careful. But usually George hangs out with them. There he is. He's a 7.5, 7 footer, somewhere around there. You can see George down there. Yeah, that's his brother, Rico. Yeah. There you go. All right, here we go, folks. Be careful when you sit down. We're moving. Hopefully everybody got a chance to see the gator today. Be careful with those gang members. That's the black and white crew. Be careful with them.
Every week on TV, I'd watch my heroes as they jumped into their rocket ships and took to the stars. And I wanted to be like them. They had courage, imagination, and no problem ever stood in their way for long. You know, in the end, when we actually did send men into space, it turned out that those were exactly the qualities it took.
I'm John Hudson. This is Pad 39 of the Kennedy Space Center. I was a launch controller here when from this very spot, man took off to fly to the moon.
If you must leave during your presentation, please exit through the doors on your right. Thank you.
These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon. The tragedy of Apollo 1 had put us a year and a half behind. We were making up for it in one big leap, and we were doing it with a rocket that no man had ever flown before. It was a few days before Christmas 1968 when Apollo 8 sat on the pad. She was the first of a new kind, a moon rocket.